All right. Awesome. I think we're live.
I think
So,
so. It says it on our end, guys. If we're
so there's this huge delay. It always takes me like a minute and a half to figure out if I'm actually there or not.
yeah, on mine too. I'll be talking, and then all of a sudden I pop up, and I've been talking.
Right. So, okay, looks like it. Looks like we're 5 by 5. Awesome. So, hey, everybody. How is everybody doing tonight?
Hi, guys. We see all of you in here.
So, I think most of you, if not all of you, know Casey Littleowl. And I pinned um, her channel up at the top. So if any of you guys are not subscribed to her, definitely go check her out. She's got an awesome channel and she does some really awesome things with natural everything.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
if you just want to like say hello to everybody or
It's your hey. I'm not hosting, so you go ahead. I'm always hosting.
fair enough. All right, I'm just going to say hi to everybody. There's Kevin. How you doing? KP Heathen, prepping artist. Hey Kelly, how you doing? Uh, and how's Rambo doing? Hopefully he is doing well. I don't know when his surgery is, but I know it's coming up. Michigan Outpost. Hey Sherry, William. Hey Hudson Valley, how you doing? If I miss anybody, I apologize. Not on purpose. I saw a couple of other people. Hey Billy, how are you? Oh, I'm sorry, Billy. Hey Dusty. Nancy, I saw about your mom. I'm so sorry. I will definitely send you guys extra prayers tonight. Hey, little lone prepper. Hey, Joe. Hey, Pilgrim. I think I got everybody. If I missed you, I'm so sorry. Not on purpose. So, I think tonight we were going to talk about living in the now, and with people with anxiety, we tend to live, 10 steps in the future, and we don't tend to enjoy our lives as much as we could. I think, at least that's my opinion.
Yeah.
So, sorry,
Y'all gonna make her get squirrel. Chat will do me like that.
I'm squirreled. I'm already squirreled. Uh, I'll tell you later. Okay. So, okay, let me gather my thoughts here. So, okay, especially somebody, like me, I have a lot of anxiety. I have anywhere I go, anytime I do anything, I always have 15 different scenarios playing in my head. Just going to the supermarket takes a lot out of me because, if my car breaks down, if the world collapses, if there's a shooter in the store, if 72 million different things. If I get sick, if, it could be anything from, very, very minor to, all out societal collapse when I'm at the store. And all of these things go through my head. So, the supermarket is just up the block from me. So that anything like that, I mean, it's mentally exhausting always thinking of these things and trying to come up with stuff of what would I do. So
Right.
you can imagine that if I go anywhere further than this, it gets worse. If I go too far away from the home, it gets 100 times worse, and I have trouble enjoying myself. I'm always thinking of what am I going to do if this happens, and yeah, and I almost so I call it like kind of like living on top of my life. This is like my own words I've kind of made up. I'm kind of like an outsider looking in at my own life.
Right.
And I think that's why I tend to forget a lot of things. Um, I there's chunks of my life that kind of I remember them vaguely, but I can't tell you. many specifics about my life, I forget so much of it. And it's because I think I am always, I'm not really enjoying what I'm doing and,
Yeah, you're
where
not
I am and what
there.
I'm
You're not
doing.
mentally in right in those moments.
Correct.
Right. Yeah, and I
So
think I go ahead.
I was going to say, I know you were saying, you do a lot of the same thing. So, I figured maybe we could come up with some, how can we enjoy our lives? How
Right.
can we live in the here and now?
Right. And I think, there's that balance. I don't have, and we all are different and our circumstances are different. And it may be different in different times of our lives. I don't, mine isn't the same exactly as yours. And then yours isn't going to be the same as mine. But, I think I, I think that as far as like in, the prepping community, however you want to label it, prepared mind, preparedness, whatever, is we do always try to stay 10 steps ahead. We do try to think of every type of scenario or everything planned out to have or needed or what to do, because that is part of that mindset. And I don't think you ever completely break that. And I don't know. And there's different times you have to take a break from it. I'm not going to do anything with this or anything that's preparing or prepared minded or looking at every little thing that's going on today or this weekend. You have to take those breaks. I think that is healthy. And then there are times that your mind is somewhere and you're like, but I'm here with my family or on the farm or we're doing something, and you don't always enjoy the now. Excuse me. But I think it has to be a conscious effort. And some of it's not as bad for others as it is, or it may come in waves, like I said. But I think that the more things, how they're getting, I think it's important to make those conscious things to say, I need to be in the right now, because whatever's going to happen it's going to happen no matter what we do, if we're thinking on it or not. And, we do what we can. And I think we have to enjoy. I think that's a big thing, is enjoying the now. And that will cut down on, people. How many people do we hear all the time are getting burnout? They're burnout with prepping. They're burnout with all of this. They're anxious, they're down, whatever. And I think this is a big part of it. It's not enjoying everyday little things, in moments. That's just my opinion.
Well, my situation is I am not a situational prepper. I guess I was born like this.
Right.
So this is me from the time I was little. I remember doing this. I can remember very specific circumstances growing up where I had, big OCD traits and I had
Right.
prepper traits. I've always been like this. I've always been the save for a rainy day, do this. And it's funny because I was watching all right, nobody make fun of me. I was watching Little House on the Prairie the other day, and they had these things, and this is what I grew up watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is part of, I always said it's your circumstances. There's so many things that make you you, and that's why everybody is so different, and that's why everybody thinks differently, has different opinions. And I grew up watching these types of shows, and they had, the fake healers, they had the people that sold the fake tonics, they had all of these things, and I was always, and what always caught my attention was I never want to be, I never want to be taken in by that. I never want to be gullible. So I'm
Right.
always thinking about, if somebody does or says something, well, what could that really mean? And it could go, in 72 different directions.
Right.
And I think that's part of my makeup. And I don't know why it hit me versus, like just being able to watch a show and enjoy it, versus those particular lessons came at me and just kind of stuck with me.
Right.
And, it also could be, why I was thinking, like, I would watch them starve or whatever. And they had to, try to go out in 8 feet of snow and try to find a squirrel. And I was always like, I don't want to be like that. So I'm not really sure why it stuck with me.
Yeah.
But I've always, so anyway, I totally lost my train of thought of where I was going with this story, and what a different tangent, because this is what I do. Hey, Independent. Hey, Saffron Bag. Um, but you know, so so I don't get burned out from prepper. That's what I was going with. I'm not a burned out prepper. I am a burned out from lifer a lot of the time. So I have to
Right.
try to figure out how can I how can I step back from life? You know, because prepping, you get burned out on prepping, you can step back, take a weekend off, you know, take a
Right.
month off, whatever it is. I can't step back from life. I mean, you can, but then you're not living there. You're kind of killing the point.
You're right.
So
And that's why I think all of ours is a little different, because, there's times that things are really, I'm one of those people, and this is probably the way I was, this is my makeup, and I was a trauma nurse and everything like that. I'm always super calm in the storm. I'm in and then when things get quiet, then it can catch up with me. But like, in the mix of it, I'm, I'm just chill and level head. That's how I am. I work under that pressure and everything. Then afterwards, and if it's really quiet, sometimes I can get like, "Oh, am I missing something? Is something about to go on?" I can get like that sometimes, and that's just not usually, I mean, I guess not always in life. I think also is I'm one of those people, I have to stay busy. I get cabin fever really easy. I have to stay busy. I'm always fidgeting with something, or I'm, if we sit down and we watch a movie, we're watching a movie as a family. And I'm not talking about like on my phone or electronics or something like that. I'm like, yeah, but I could be planting seeds too because I have a lot of stuff to do. My list never ends. So I always have to be multitasking, or I have that nervous energy I got things I need to get done. Because I think I have a hard time completely relaxing often because I'm like, I still got I always have stuff to do. I could be doing this. And again, that's one of those, that is my thing of not living in now, just like, I'm just gonna completely like chill and not do anything and just, relax a beer. Cause I'm always like, go, go, go. I can do this and I would be ahead, or this has to get done, or, that is hard. And that's part of that. And that's part of having a farm and that prepared mind things. And I think, I don't know. I just think it's that reminder. Cause I was telling you backstage, like little things in comments, and nobody said it like, I'm not living in the now, or anything like that, or those words particularly, but I was starting to see little hints in like, my chats or my comments, or I was getting emails and it was kind of, and I was like, okay, because people were starting to say these little things and it was getting worse. And I was like, okay, I think this is an issue going on with a lot. And it comes in waves with things going on. I mean, when things around the world are going crazy, it seems to be more severe. Um, when things get really quiet and I'm like, it's eerie quiet and nothing's going on, I get a little bit more testy because I don't want to be blindsided by things. And I think that's at 10 steps ahead. I don't like to be surprised by anything. Like, I want to know all the details, no matter how awful it is, just go ahead and give it to me so I can go through that. So I think there's all those different angles and types of not living in the now, enjoying the now that I think so many of us at different times and in different ways are going through.
yeah, it's exactly, yeah. So I don't have, I mean, yes, I have to take a break from YouTube. I've actually been trying to just be more productive, and because I think just the screen time, not even the with the what's going on the YouTube is what's affecting me. I think it's just screen time in general. I just,
Yeah.
I need to back off of it, and I need to. So I have been for the last couple of weeks or so, and it helps that because I've been so busy at work, like
Yeah.
so busy. We have our year end, and we're down two people, so I'm doing three people's jobs, along with the other lady who is also there, who is also doing three people's jobs. So we're so busy. I can't even put in earbuds because I always, caught up on my videos then, or, whoever had lives during the day, I would, pop in and chat with them. And I can't even do that. So it's actually helping me. I notice that at work, I'm not as drained, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense. Because I think it's just being connected to the phone.
Right.
So, that's one of the ways, and it's forcing me to be productive busy, which is helping my calm my mind.
Right.
So while I'm still having those, And I'm like, and then I have to, I can, oops, sorry. Oops. What'd I do? Um, okay. I have to remember to turn that off. I have a alarm that goes off every day at 6:15, and I don't
Mhm.
do it anymore. And I'm like, I have to remember to turn that off. So, that's part of what is helping me, getting off of the screen time. I've, tried to make it so I'm not on my phone as much anymore. And
Yeah.
because I'm very guilty of, if I sit down like to watch a movie or something, I'm playing on my phone, I'm playing a stupid game. And I'm like, you know what?
Right.
I can't do this anymore. And I can tell it's really bad for my anxiety.
Yep.
And I've been trying to, definitely trying to limit my time. And I still can't work this laptop. It's on its last legs. It's almost done. And I'm still technology, like just dumb. So, yeah, see, I get very distracted, CUCV. I can't, but I am, and I'm thinking like if you get distracted, it's probably a dangerous thing. Mine, I just make mistakes. I'm dealing with numbers the whole time, and if I make a mistake, and nothing balances, it's very frustrating. So I have to unplug and not be on my phone
Yeah.
completely at work.
No, I get that. And we're talking about backstage. I think that that's a big, I mean, since the smartphones and the phones are always right in your hand, you can't disconnect. You can't, it was before, you got to be at home or something. You didn't have things like that. I'm not talking about just the cell phones, but once they went to like, everybody's carrying a computer around, they can check or get alerts or anything all the time. I think that caused a lot. I don't have that as big that phone, addiction that is. It's a very real thing, and they've created that on purpose. I think that was a big start with when people's anxiety and everything that falls underneath that were getting worse and detaching and not being in the now because they're always on their phone. They're not even paying attention to their surroundings or enjoying what's going on. So, I mean, we could get in. I mean, that's that whole other thing about, discipline yourself with your screen time and your phone all the time that a lot of people need to do. But, well, I guess not everybody, but I mean, it's there in society a lot.
Yeah, honestly, it's sad to think these days. I'll see people out at a restaurant or something, and the whole family sitting there on their phones.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of the things. I'm like, you know what? If we're sitting down, we're eating dinner, there is no phones.
No,
Absolutely no phones.
I'm so old school, and I wasn't right, and I didn't raise mine like that. Huckleberry don't do that. We didn't raise ours like that. That's just we just didn't do that. I always say I'm old, so I hate all technology. And I was telling you backstage, I'm like, I'm ready for everything. Go ahead and crash, so I don't have to have all this stuff. Not the bad stuff that comes with it, but I am grateful that I was kind of made that way because I know they're very, and it's hard for a lot of people to break. I'm not making light of that, but I think that causes a lot of issues. Distractions of not being in the present where you're supposed to be.
Right. Exactly. All right. I'm just gonna check chat and see if
I see all you coming in there. I appreciate all of you also.
mainstream media. Oh, absolutely. I can't even listen to most of the media anymore. It's just all nonsense to me at this point. They tell you what they want you to hear.
Oh yeah. It's all propaganda and, you know, guiding their agenda, in my opinion.
Yeah. You see, I wish I grew up with more self-sufficient people. I only had, my grandmother taught me certain things, but
Hmm.
basically, it was, hey, TT1. Basically, it was, well, I learned a lot on my own. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But they definitely were not. she wasn't exactly a cook from scratch person.
Right.
She, nobody had a garden. Nobody taught me how to do any of that. Nobody was a canner. My grandmother would make some things from scratch. We made pasta a few times. And I think that's kind of, I think if anybody taught me anything, it was her more than anything.
Right.
I wish I had more of that growing up. I would have liked to have had some of those skills now, because we all know I can't grow anything. Well,
We're going to get coffee to grow some herbs this year, guys.
but I did cut off the bottoms. I got some, the red leaf lettuce. I cut off the
Yeah.
bottoms and I stuck them on my windowsill. And they are growing, but I don't know what to do with them now.
Well, once they grow enough, you can put them in dirt. You got a planter. You can have a garden, put them in a container garden.
Garden?
Yeah, just call it a house plant that you can eat. Just put it by a window.
Right now it's still sitting and it's getting really big, and I'm like, how is this? Is this still safe to eat? Like at this point, because it's still just sitting in water. I change the water every couple of days.
Well, the water, I mean, that's no different than aquaponics. Like some people, they don't use dirt. They do aquaponics and it grows in water. It's completely safe. As long as you're, it's not like molded or something, you're fine.
Oh, I actually have aquaponics. I have I just don't like doing it now on that nobody's home a lot of the time.
Right.
And it's water, it's electricity.
Right.
My dog is here. I can't have it. So hopefully either when somebody's schedule changes, I can, do it a little bit more.
Right.
YouTube police. Did you change your name or are you new here? I feel like you've changed your name from somebody. I was just going to say something. I grew. There you go. I have dandelions growing all over. I don't have to try to grow them.
Yeah, see, that's wonderful. So many uses for those things.
Stronger canning skill this year. I pickled some stuff before. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I have no canning skills whatsoever, unless it's like pasta and it's dry and I put a lid on it.
Right.
That is the extent of my canning, and I can suck the air out of it with my
your vacuum sealer.
With my vacuum sealer, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we know who you were, Carson. Oh, okay. Well, welcome in. Sorry, I thought I had saw something else. Something from my grandmother was my life. That's awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a little different from my mother. She was she was a bit odd. We'll just put it at that. Hey, Belu. Here we go. This channel doesn't tend to make people uncomfortable. I think that's a good thing.
I think that's the YouTube cop guy or person.
Belu?
Right? The switching channel. Yeah, he said switch channels.
Oh, okay.
Somebody said about yes, this chair.
Oh no, that's fine. I just I didn't mean it like that. Yeah, I don't think you're making anybody uncomfortable.
Yeah, I inherited this chair. It's been like 3 generations. Yes, I love this chair. It's my reading chair. It's obviously my YouTube chair at this point.
Yeah, this is my YouTube chair. Reading I do anywhere. I anywhere I am, I pull out my Kindle and I start reading.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just reading chat. Oh, okay. I got it. I missed
the vintage chair.
Growing up on a farm, we had big garden, mom can work.
Mm-hmm.
See, I can freeze. That I'm very good at. Um, I'm not as good with taking things out of the freezer as I am putting them in the freezer.
Well,
But
when we had the storms and we lost, um, we our because our generator went out and none of the parts or anything wasn't something we could fix, and it went out like 2 days before they brought power back on when Helene came through. So it's a big stand-up freezer with a big giant door on it, and it was packed. I mean, we kept that packed with meat and things we had butchered and things from the garden, and I mean, it was just packed. I mean, that's just how we, along with our regular stand-up refrigerator or whatever, that was our big freezer, and we lost everything in there when Helene
oh
came through.
wow,
I was devastated. I mean, I was just like, remember when we made this, we froze this, blanched, we butchered this, we bought this, it was stacked, and that happens. And I was like, oh, if it could have just the generator could have held on. It was like a day and a half after they got the power back on, after it went out, and we lost everything in that. It
oh
was awful.
wow, yeah. I would be devastated too. I
Oh, I
have.
was devastated. All that we had tons of our cow's milk that we froze. We froze flat, and raw milk. That's just, I mean, you have so many gallons and gallons of milk that we had from our milk cow, and we lost all
I
of
didn't know
it.
you could freeze milk.
Yeah. Yep.
Hmm.
Just
I
thaw it
buy.
out slow in the refrigerator when you take it out. Just thaw it slowly in the fridge where it's cool. Don't like pull it out to do it. Yeah.
Right. I defrost nothing. People leave meat on their counter to defrost it. I'm like, I can't do that. My meat's got to defrost slowly in my refrigerator.
Yeah. That's the
I
safest way to go.
yeah, I'm not. But I always thought they told you couldn't freeze milk. I keep milk. I keep powdered milk for
Yeah. Yeah. You can
long
freeze
term,
milk.
and then I keep the shelf stable milk. I buy the
The
like the
can.
kids drinks. No, the
Oh
kids
yeah. Yeah.
drinks, and I buy the organic one, and it did because we don't go through milk quick enough. I need it for cooking here and there. So I'll buy a thing of milk, which is so expensive these days. And I'm like, and then I end up throwing half of it out because we don't go through it. So
Right.
I know the kids' boxes are expensive, but it's a lot. I go through all of them. I use all of it
Right.
instead of throwing it out. So that's how I got around that. And then of course I have powdered milk, but
Right.
I'm
90
missing
acres.
some things.
I'm reading
It's wet.
QV. I was reading QV Farmer. He's talking about 90 acres. Been in the family for so long, like the late 1800s.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm big on, don't sell grandpa's farm. Don't sell the family farm, because if there's one thing, they're never making any more land. And even though I hate how hot it is down here, the South, and it was even hotter in North Carolina, it was more humid. I think because we always have a breeze here. That's where our family land is. And that was just a no-brainer that to keep, and then if you can find it nowadays, hardly anyone can afford that. But yeah.
Right.
So there's pros and cons everywhere. And I tell myself that. Now in August, y'all will hear I'm going to say something very different because I'm going to be miserable come August. I'm not going to want to be here. But
I'm with
then,
you. I don't do the heat.
yeah, I can't at the heat and humidity. I just don't tolerate. And I wish we we had 4 seasons. I talk about all my northern friends and everything. I'm like, look at all y'all's pretty leaves. Changing colors. It's so pretty. You have all these seasons. I mean, we're really hot now, but it's unusually hot. It's not normally this hot in February.
Right now, I would take that over what we have. We're supposed to get some. I don't know what they call for this all the time, and then they change it. And first it was supposed to be a big snowstorm, then it was 3 to 5 inches. Now I'm thinking we're getting it like half an inch. It's going to be
Right.
mostly ice. It's just I can't. I can't with this anymore. And they always call for these major blizzards. I'm like, do you guys have a deal with the bread, eggs, and milk people?
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause yeah,
I love snow. I don't like when it's just icy and it's just freezing, but it just rains and it makes like mud like it does down here. I can't stand that. Like I cannot stand that. If it's going to be really cold, then I just want snow because at least you can be, more out and you're not just soaking wet or it's not ice all over you. We get ice and cold rain and that's about it when it gets cold. But yeah, I see Kevin said 65. Well, we were 78 today. Now, see, I wasn't happy with that. And I know it's like, that's nice. But what's going to happen is it's going to be this warm this early, which is going to make for a horrific hurricane season if this continues. And then everything's starting to bud and we're supposed to get another cold snap and it's going to mess up things blooming and growing. It'll mess it up. I just want things to be, but nothing's been normal lately, right?
no, definitely not. No, we've had nothing but wind here actually. We
Oh yeah.
insane wind. And it's like I'm not understanding where it's coming from because it's been like 2 months now. And it's wind. It's not, wow, it's windy out. It's like I battle to get into my building in the mornings or if I come back from lunch or something. I'm like, I shouldn't
Right.
have to fight my way through the wind to get into my office building.
That's crazy.
And it's been for like 2 months now. I don't understand where it's coming from. We are not like this. We have
Right.
windy days, nothing
Right.
major, but 30 miles an hour, definitely not.
Yeah.
And this has been going on for quite some time now.
That's weird. I did see there was that new because I mean I watched a couple different. I think it's the weather. Is it the weather guy and Ryan Hall? I peek at different ones to see. I think up that way, you're supposed to be getting really bad snow or something again, or a snowstorm. I don't know. I think it changes all the time, but and then it's still hot. It's still hot down here. Yes, TT1. I saw about the fog. Yes, our fog has been ridiculous. Don't get me started. That's what's wrong with my throat today. It's on my throat, and then I'm having these little like blemish things come on my face. A lot of people are. It's like it almost feels like how a chemical burn will feel on your face and on my arm. It's really weird. But yes, the fog, the whole fog thing. People are seeing different ones, and I'm seeing TT ones that they had it also.
Yeah, we haven't had that, thank goodness. But that's the only thing we haven't had. We've had some really crazy weather and some really crazy wind, and now who knows what we're going to get tomorrow. But they're calling for snow like all week next week tomorrow. Let's
Yeah,
try that again. They're calling for snow all next week.
I think next week or maybe the weekend. I think it's sometime. Hey, Tiger, we're I think we're supposed to be getting cool again. But again, we're not, February, January, February is usually our coldest, like everywhere else, coldest months here, even in the South. We're usually the heat's on and it's cold, even for us, it's Florida cold, I'll say that. But this is ridiculous. I mean, we've had our, temperatures where it's like windows open, short sleeves. 2 days I wore shorts and stuff like that because it's just hot. It's just weird.
Well, when it's really this cold, I want the hot. But then when the hot comes, I'm like, let's bring back the cold. I'm
Yeah,
never
right.
happy. It
Not
doesn't
living in
matter.
the
I'm
now,
never happy.
coffee. I get it. But I do. I prefer, fall, winter, spring. Like summer is just not it's just not. I mean, we go to this, springs and we go swimming, different things like that. But I feel like I can't be out because I just can't handle the heat. It's just so hot.
Yep. Yeah, fall is probably my favorite. It's
Yeah.
just, I want cool nights. I want, nothing specific. I want 65-degree days.
Yeah.
I want
I mean,
32-degree
that's why I tell
nights.
them, like,
So
I
I can
can't
sleep
just have what
well.
I want. I get it.
Yeah, I don't understand. I'm like, it's not that hard.
And that,
And I want
that
that all year
probably,
round.
even weather stuff, that probably is one of those things not living in the now. Because I mean, when you're like, you should enjoy your seasons and the changing, and when it's cooler, you're going to be wanting that when it's hotter, and that is hard, and that's human nature, also. I'm sure.
Yeah, it is. And, I think it's, I said this to somebody the other day. I said, stop wishing your life away. Because it was, Tuesday afternoon, and she's like, oh, well, we just got to get it till Friday. And I said, don't wish your life away.
Right.
That's terrible. I said, next thing you know, you're going to be, 90 years old going, God, I wish I was back at work.
I wish it was still Tuesday. Here it is,
I wish it was still Tuesday. Exactly.
It is
So,
hard. And
we have
I
to.
think it's a habit to break. Because we're creatures of comfort. That can be that way. And gosh knows the modern, for all these generations and decades, it's become, oh, it's convenient. It's convenient and it's comfort and all this type of things. And that's construed, I think, so much of us. All of us, I'm pointing my fingers at myself, it has about that. There was different seasons and times and things going on that they, before they knew that there was a reason for the season and they enjoyed that until the next. And I think it takes a conscious effort on our parts to say, I'm gonna enjoy today. I'm gonna enjoy that it is a rainy day and we may be stuck inside, or it is a Tuesday and not a Friday, and things like that. I think it's just we have to make that effort. I mean, I am big on even on all of us, we may have a really hard day. This day was just ridiculous and it seemed like nothing was going right. And I'm always like, find 3 things that you're grateful for today. Find 3 things that, made you smile today or something. I think that I have to do those things, and I try to encourage people to do things like that because it kind of puts things in perspective. And I think that's a lot of the thing is as humans, I think that the negative can get more attention and more, we will talk about it more or anything like that than the positive. And I think we have to always fix our focus on things like that. And that helps. Well, I think that helps bring you into the now, that something to be grateful for, something to enjoy at that moment, that day.
I think that's fabulous. A day where nothing goes right, you have to still find 3 things that you're grateful for. That
Yeah.
definitely can change your mindset of the day. I love that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't do that. If I have a bad day,
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know what? I just need this day to be over, and I do the whole. I need to start fresh tomorrow. But I like yours better.
Yeah. I think that I find that helps because I mean, there are other days I'm just like, are you kidding me? If it's not one thing, it's 10 other. I mean, I've had, oh my gosh, and it seems like it's on the farm or something breaks and we get something fixed and then it's 10 other things happen and the fence and the cows are out, or it's just like one thing and I'm like, nobody got hurt and all the animals are fine. Or like oh my gosh, when we had hurricane season last year, I asked Huckleberry, I was so ready. I was like, I'm about done. Like they can just have this farm. I am done. Because we had a major flood in August and then Helene came down and just threw trees everywhere. By the grace of God, nothing fell on our house. We had part of our barn was taken out by a tree and stuff like that. But then I still made myself come up. I'm like, at least now you can go more. I'm like, find 3 things. Find 3 things that are positive. 3 things that made me smile. 3 things, whatever. I make myself do that because it's easy to spiral. I don't know why, except for it's of this world. I don't know the negative and in the funk and the hard times. It seems that we are, how it's even like when people say, well, people never give a positive review. So you don't know if it's positive, but people will certainly go out of their way to say something. Hey, I got to complain and this is negative about something. I think that we can do that in our minds about everyday little things or hard times. Is just to say, no, there's got to be positive out of this. There's got to be something good to enjoy. And it takes an effort. And I'm big on writing. I write and journal. I make lists every day. That's just how my mind works. And so I write them down. I just write them down because I can see them visually and I can read that. And it just helps.
That's a great idea. I like that. I'm big on lists, especially it helps center me when I feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But I think the same thing. I think it would also do good if I'm, mentally done, and 3 things that I am just grateful for, and I'm always grateful for, kind of thing, and to kind of reflect back on that. And I like that.
Yeah. Well, even like, I mean, you and I yeah, you said, oh, sometimes I'm just going to be like, I'm done, I'm going to quit. And then you're like, something will come and you're like, okay, I'm not supposed to, like YouTube stuff. It can be, sitting in these seats and, can be difficult, and it can become draining, and it's all these things that go with it. And that can be anything as well. But then, and there's times I'm like, and y'all see me, I will step back, or I'm so overwhelmed with other things. I'm like, I just don't, have time to keep on with this or whatever. Something will happen, and I'll pray about, like, Lord, just shut the door. If you say it, I'll just, shut the door. But then I'll always have either somebody will send me something, or somebody, it could be subs, other creators, or something will come to mind. And it could be several of you guys. And I'm like, I am so grateful for these people. I would have never met them if it wasn't for this platform. I would have never had that positive. And I know we're all spread far and wide, and that can be difficult, because I always feel like, oh, my solids, they're never, we're never right up underneath each other, right? And I think that's something else to get you're grateful for. And if I got to step back, you have to step, we have to step away sometimes, and just take a break. And that's anything in life. I think that puts it in perspective when you're like, I wouldn't be sitting here right now and never have met you if it wasn't for this, or all of you people, my subs and you mods and everything like that. I think it always becomes a retraining our mind, our focus and stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking the same thing this morning. I'm like this. I actually talked to a woman. We had a phone conversation this morning, and she lives near, fairly near me. A sweet, sweet woman. I never would have met her, without any of this. And I sent her a link because it affected our area. And somebody had sent it to me. I had sent it to a couple of people who I knew were here, and she's just like, "Oh my goodness, thank you so much for thinking of me." And
Right.
and we had this awesome conversation this morning. She's such a great woman, and I'm just thinking, I'm like, without this, without without all of this, I never, like, this is just, it's so awesome to have people who are fairly close, looking out for people and
Mm-hmm.
being able to help people. And then she's like, "Oh, you know what? I'm a sewer." And I'm like, "It's one of the things I'm trying to learn how to do." And she's like,
See?
"I'll teach you." And I'm like, I hope this comes to, I actually hope it comes true, because it would be awesome.
Right.
And I've never actually met her in person, but she was just awesome to talk to. So it actually made me like super happy that and it was on one of the channels that is not around so much anymore. But without it,
Yeah.
I never would have met her. So
That's right. I mean, there is, and we all can learn from, everyone has something to bring. Like when you're down on yourself, I'm like, look, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. Don't ever compare yourself to others. I tell people about that with prepping and anything else. I'm like, we all have something to offer. Don't compare yourself to somebody else, or what they're doing or have, or what's going on. I just think that there's just a reason that, I'm big on, there's a reason for all this, and paths crossing is a big reason for all that. And I see all you other people coming in here. I think it helps our mindset, as far as, the struggling or feeling down or different things like that. I'm big on, good night, prepping artists. I think it helps, fix your focus. And it's a conscious effort. You have to get it yourself. That's why I'm big on lists, because at least you see it and it's a reminder. And if you write something out, it's different than if you're just thinking about it.
right. Oh, I thought that was. I saw something. Oh, Loop, I was seeing your comments. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. Oh yeah, anybody who wants to drop their link, please, by all means.
Mm-hmm.
I found that
That's true.
life is stressful or totally sucks, you get a message or something, someone that does something worse than you, and you would. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, perspective is huge. But yeah, that's yeah. When you were talking about giving up or whatever, because there's been a couple of times I'm like, you know what, I'm done. I'm not helping anybody. This is. But then something will happen, and it's like, okay, well, and it might not be me who's helping them. It might just be the fact that my channel is up, and people make connections for whatever
Right.
reason. I think it was in prepping artist channel where I actually became close with Kevin, and it was more of that channel that that kind of pushed our friendship, and without, and she doesn't really
Yeah.
put out content anymore, you know but without it, you know who knows,
Yeah. I
if
mean,
that
that's the,
connection would have ever been made.
I agree. There's so many things or places at the right time, or, this, this chat or this creator or something cross paths with other ones. We all have that. And there is a reason. There's just a reason. And we all have, and some of it's, short lived and some of it's not. But I just think I'm big on that was part of our journey or in our path or crossing different people for a reason. And then, there's times I'm like, like you had said, you're like, I'm not helping. And we always say, if I'm helping just one, then it was worth it. And there are times you feel like, is this making a difference? Because if it's not, then what am I doing? And then every single time somebody has come up and said something and you don't even realize. That's why I tell people all the time, like, so many of you don't even, and it could just, you don't even have to have a channel, people in chat, people in real life or anything like that. You don't realize, could be a stranger, you just being polite and smiling and striking up a conversation or anything like that, how much you are blessing or helping somebody that could have been at the one of their worst awful days, that you're helping them and you don't know it. I mean, I always pray that I'm able to do that for somebody, and I don't even have to know about it, but it's helping somebody else.
That's right. That's all it. If I'm not helping anybody, I don't want to be up here in front of a camera, because this is not my thing. Can y'all tell? But as I said, it just one day I woke up and there was this overwhelming urge. You must start this channel now, and that was God saying, "You need to do it now."
I remember
Oh, okay.
I remember when you started it up, and I was like, "This is fantastic," because you're like how you say, "I'm not doing anything," and you struggle with anxiety, and I'm like, you have got that strength because truly, anxiety and anything that falls underneath anxiety, like struggling or anything like that, can be such a taboo topic in this society. And you've opened that door for so many people, and way better than I do I think that is helping more than you realize. Like, you're such a sweet soul anyways. I'm just like, you're just a good soul. And I think that I really, I know that you're up here for a purpose. I'm always like, I'll support you if you don't want to do it, either way. But I'm like, okay, I think she needs to stay up here. I really do. I think it's great that you started it.
Oh, I appreciate that. It's been a struggle. I'll say that, if it wasn't for D, down the rabbit hole with D and
Mm-hmm.
Evan, this channel wouldn't exist. If it wasn't for those two, they supported me and got me up and running with the channel. I wouldn't
Oh
have been
yeah.
able to do it by myself, because I was like, I don't even know what to do. So those two helped me start this channel, and then there was a couple of people who definitely was big in keeping me going.
Right. I
But
get it. Hey, Cha-Cha.
so I hope. Let's see. Aw, you're sweet. I feel like I've come a little bit. I'm not as stuttery as I used to be. But I always tell people, I say, you know what, you're always welcome to email me, if you need a phone call, whatever. Absolutely. I promise I am not this all over the place in person. It's because I'm in front of a camera, and I can't find my words. This is all nerves. I just can't.
Right. We're always harder on ourselves. Most people, you don't even notice it.
I feel like they do.
I know, because I mean, I see things like this with like YouTube and lives and hanging. I'm just like, we're just all hanging out. It's just that we're all so scattered. We can't just all get together and hang out. That's all this is. That's how I look at it. So it doesn't
That's
bother me.
awesome. I wish I could do that, but I feel like, when everybody else, I'd be like, you know what? Hold on, let me just chat with you all. It'd be so much better.
Yeah, I mean, and y'all see. I mean, if you've been on my channel, you see. I mean, I'm sitting in my 3 generations inherited chair that I wanted. And I didn't even put that in. I was like, I want the yellow chair. That's why I call it the yellow chair. Anything left of me in the way, I'm like, I want the yellow chair. But I mean, I'm not fancy like doing anything. I'm just kind of like, I mean, this is what you see is what you get. I'm just kind of, and I'm in my car and I'm running around, or I'm outside with the animals and everything. I'm just like, I'm just what I am. I'm just like, oh, I'm just a regular person like anyone else. I'm not flashy, and there's nothing wrong. I see channels that have amazing different things. And I just, we all have our style and something to bring. We all have something to offer. Hudson, did you go get like donuts or something again? You're always like, I'm in the drive-thru. I'm getting donuts.
Did you say you were supposed to get 10 inches of snow up there, Hudson?
Good gracious.
That's, I'm so over winter. I'm ready for the spring. Just because
And here I'm like, it's so hot. And I do wish it was still a little cooler for us
and it's
here.
not the cold weather that is doing it to me. It's the gloominess. I get very bad winter depression. I need the sun. So,
and I probably would be like that if I lived up north, because I don't know any. I mean, I'm in the Sunshine State, right? It's always sunny, and we have like cloudy, and we have rain and hurricanes and all those different things. But I probably would be like that. Like I've traveled to different places. Like even it was like we were up in Northern Virginia, near kind of like outside of DC area for a while. And it was in the winter, and I was like, the sun has not been out in like a month. How are y'all living up here? And I think that does make a difference in areas you live for the low levels of vitamin D, vitamin D3, of the effects that has on people. Because I mean, it was a very short period of time, but I could definitely tell the difference. And it wasn't something my body was used to, because we're always, even when it's cold, I have some bit of skin exposed to the sunshine out here, because even when it's really cold, the sun is usually really bright. So I could see that being a difference.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just nothing but clouds here and wind.
Oh yeah, y'all's wind.
That's awesome, CUCV. That's amazing. I'm so glad that it's helping you. Yeah, singing is amazing when it's I have to do it in the car all the time. If I am in my car, even just going to work, I have my radio blasting and I am singing at the top of my lungs always. And it sucks for the people around me if they can hear me, but that's their problem.
That's your therapy, right? Yeah.
That's my therapy. And my windows are always open, and the music is always blasting, and I'm always singing at the top of my lungs.
See, whatever works for anyone.
And it distracts you. It has a double.
I think that's the biggest thing, is when you're spiraling like that. It doesn't have to be like I'm having anxiety or I'm having a panic attack. It's just like the worrisome. My mind's kind of wandering. It may be right personal in your home of different things going on, or stressors, or the broader picture of everything that's going on. There has to be those distractions, and everyone's distraction, healthy distraction, guys, is different, that helps you get over that, because it's like you got to kind of snap your brain to be like, hello, and again, that's living in the now or coming into something else. I think that find it healthy distractions, guys. But I think that does. I think it breaks that cycle. And nobody, I mean, especially us, our age, I'm in my mid 40s, so nothing that era we grew up in, where it's like nothing beats a car ride, playing your favorite music and going for a ride and just listening to that. I don't know why that's therapeutic. It is for me, and that is just what someone's like, I just need to go for a ride, and put your jam on and do whatever and do your thing. I think it is very therapeutic.
Absolutely. I mean, when I'm cleaning the house, the music gets blasted. It's just, I think just having music on, um, I mean, not everybody's into music though, so I guess it wouldn't help
Right.
everybody. To me, music speaks to me. It makes me feel ways,
Yes.
and it doesn't have to even mean anything specific to me. I could just love the lyrics. I could just love the tune of the song. I could,
Right.
it could bring back memories. It just,
But I
or
think it
sometimes I
takes your
feel
mind out of where you may be stuck.
right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm just gonna check the chat. Absolutely right, great, Grace.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Great Grace, I'm serious. It is. See, TT1, y'all get it?
It's because my son's girlfriend, she she doesn't listen to any music at all. I'm like, well, what do you listen to in the car? Books on tape. I'm like, really, like
Stop
no
it.
music? She's like, no, I don't like music. I'm like, I don't
Really?
understand
That's
that. Yeah,
odd. I
that's
mean, it's odd to
yeah.
me. I mean, y'all do your own thing, but it does seem odd.
It's
But
just
you know what bothers me? And this is that old soul in me and everything. Come on, chat. Because we went from like cassettes, then there were CDs, and but I still have vinyls, and nothing beats a vinyl. If you're in your house, nothing beats a vinyl, in my opinion. But then it's like everything. Like I don't like when you have the music station things like Pandora and different things like that, or you program it. I know it's like, but I'm like, you remember growing up playing your like favorite cassette or CD and driving around? I don't know why they worry about our generation with cell phones, because you remember our big CD binder things and you would be like driving and finding it and putting it on. I mean, obviously that kept our mind from being so concerned about things, I guess.
well, then they had the advisors at the top.
Oh, the Pfizer one, you flip down like, this is my favorite 10. I'm putting them up.
That's right.
Yeah, I know. I swear. I was like, that was the better times. It seemed like it.
And try to tape off the radio.
Yes, I do. You remember Casey Kasem and stuff? You would try to get it, and then they would cut your song. Like they would cut it off early. I'm like, are you kidding me? I waited all day for this to come on, and you cut it off.
Or they talk for the first 2 minutes of the song.
Yes. Yeah, but those were the better days. I mean, truly, those were the good days, in my opinion. If I could go back, if I, always, I know we're in this time frame for a reason, but I always say that.
Yeah, I saw somebody put. I'm sorry.
I don't want to interrupt you, but Jake was about to eat your burger. You put salt and pepper on it. Okay. Do you still want it? I mean, it's just you put a little salt and pepper.
Don't worry about it, honey. It's okay.
Then he's gonna eat it.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, let him eat it. It's fine. It's fine, honey. Hey, Earl. You're not late. Did I? I didn't like mute myself or anything, did I? I was trying to find the mute button. I couldn't find it.
You're still 5 by 5.
I don't know why he thinks a hamburger was the biggest, but whatever. It's all good. Oh wow, it's 7:00.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't find the mute button. I was trying to find it. It didn't work. I was pressing things. I was clicking things, and nothing was going on. So
that's fine. That's real life. That's why I tell people when I'm in stuff, I'm like, this is real life, people. It's still going on around us.
I didn't have a transistor radio.
No, I didn't have that one.
No, but I did spend all my time in record stores growing up.
Oh yeah, that's when they were in the mall. They had a real food courts. We always went to the record and got cassettes and all those different things. And the arcades were there. So the fun times. You didn't see people having all the anxiety they do today back then. I mean, just
that's exactly it. You did.
Because we were out doing the things in the moment. You had to be in the moment when you're doing it. We should all just make a big community where we're back in time at something else. It probably help.
Oh, so I was going to say when you said, we're in this time, we're in this time for a purpose. I think it's to somebody just said this the other day. I think it's to try to get people to understand that we're living in the wrong time.
Yeah. I always say, I'm like, I'm in this time for a reason to keep the old ways or continue
teach
the
the
old
old ways.
ways. What's all going on. But yeah, I'm an old soul. I always said I was born in the wrong era, but
Me too.
that's what it
I
is.
would
What
have.
it is, I guess.
I always wanted to be around in the 50s. That was my thing.
Yeah.
I feel like the 40s, the 50s, that would have been like my time.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. All right. So it's 7 o'clock. I think I'm gonna
I appreciate you
shut
guys.
this- I'm
Live in the
gonna shut
now.
this down.
Enjoy life now because you're not going to get it back. You can't get time back.
Exactly.
You can't get time back.
Yeah. So if anybody has, any good tips on trying to stay in the now and not live in the future, definitely drop them in the comments. This and you can help others because not everything will help for everybody else. Everybody's
That's
different.
right.
Everybody's tricks and tips work differently. What helps one might be really bad for others.
Absolutely.
Some
We're not
people
cookie cutters. So,
Exactly.
everybody has their own thing that works. Don't compare yourself to others or your life, or your prepping or your mindset or what stresses you and doesn't, don't. That will cause anxiety in itself. Just don't.
That's a big one. None of us were brought up the same. None of us have the same makeup.
Mm-mm.
Everybody reacts differently to things, and everybody's got their own strengths and weaknesses. That's what it's all
Absolutely.
about.
If we were all the
Just
same,
because
it'd be mighty boring. So just be who you are. I tell people, I'm like, stop trying to be like somebody else because then we would be missing what you are exactly and you don't realize it.
exactly. So I pinned Casey's link at the top. So if anybody doesn't know her, definitely go over and check out some of her stuff. She does some really, really awesome stuff.
Thank
And
you. I appreciate it.
no problem. And thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
This was awesome. So you all have a wonderful night, and I'll see you all around. Take care.
Bye, guys.